Inductive parenting is something that I've mentioned, and inductive parenting is helping children see that our behavior can have an impact on another human being. That's why, communication and making I statements and that kind of thing takes kids to this higher level of moral development. Now, a child can't care more for someone else if they don't have that consideration for themselves. So understanding their own feelings, when you use reflective listening, when you help kids understand their feelings and their needs, when children start to develop a sense of who they are, how they feel, what it is that they need, then and only then can they actually relate to the fact that other people have needs as well. And so my kids will come home on time because they're worried about me worrying. They don't want me to worry about them, as opposed to coming home on time because they're afraid of being punished. You could say that that's a very practical difference for a child who's taken the rules because he understands his behavior actually affects other people. Forced apologies. I think this is a really great time to talk about forced apologies. I think I talk about it in the other course more so. Did I? Yeah, I think I did. Yeah. But let's say it again. I don't believe in forced apologies. I think it teaches kids to lie. Sorry. I said I was sorry. And yet a lot of people expect kids to apologize. It's often, something that is forced on kids. It goes much further if a child has had a disagreement or a kerfuffle with another kid. It goes much further to reflect the feelings of each child and to bring about a level of understanding of the situation or how the child's behavior impacted the other person, as opposed to just forcing a child to say sorry. Yeah. Is that shocking to hear? Or, any questions on that? Is this old news now? Have I just done this so long that I think, I'm going to tell you something amazing, and you guys are all like, yeah, that's not new.
I'm curious about if there ever is an appropriate time for forced apology. I'm thinking of a situation, my cousin caught there's a bunch of kids, they were stealing things from people's, they weren't really stealing, but they were taking things from people's spaces and kind of hoarding them in this stash. And then they got caught out and we actually, had them go around and return them. They returned that thing and say, sorry, we took it and shouldn't. And I'm curious if that you think that was a good way to deal with that or not.
Yeah, I mean, they it's like correcting a behavior. They did something that had impact on another person. And asking them to apologize isn't the end of the world. It's kind of appropriate to apologize for that. But they may not actually feel sorry. And so I like the idea of being able to look at a kid and mirror that you look like you might be feeling kind of sorry about this, because sometimes kids really do get to that place of feeling sorry.
Well, I think it's interesting that you say that because there's a lot of forced apologies going on lately, and they certainly don't mean it when they say it. So
they don't mean it when they say it, and like I said, it does teach kids to lie, and it's a form of obedience to say sorry, versus taking it to another level where kids are actually understanding the impact of their behavior on another person. Yeah, Trevor.
You also point out it would be polite to apologize about this.
Yeah, it's a polite thing.
This is a situation in which you would apologize.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you can say, that it's polite to do so, yeah.
And say if it's in front of us, we could apologize for them.
Yeah, that's right too. We can say sorry.
Your daughter.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So if you're at the park with a young child and there's the poking and the sand throwing and that kind of thing, you can go to the child who's been hurt and you can apologize and say, I'm so sorry that you've been hurt. And you might want to say to your child who threw the sand, she's looking really upset right now. It's not okay to throw the sand, but you're pointing out the feelings of the child. I'm just saying that goes much further.
Yeah, my question is along the same lines. When you've got a child that's so young, they don't really understand the impact that they might have on something or someone else. So how do you... I almost feel like asking them to apologize in a way at this age maybe is teaching them that that's something, unless if there's another way of doing it, and at a certain point you stop asking them.
I hear what you're saying. You can role model the saying sorry. You can role model manners. What we're getting into next is that how kids really learn about all of this is from the parents. from the parents apologizing, particularly to a child. But I also appreciate what you're saying, because when you get the 2-year-old or the 3-year-old or 4-year-old that's really polite and always saying sorry, there's just that pseudo maturity where they're behaving in a certain way they know they're supposed to, but they don't know why. You know, and so getting kids to a place where they understand why. And sometimes it can actually be rude to force that apology.
How do you, I mean, I had a time when my daughter was bullied briefly by a girl, a friend of mine's daughter. And the mother found out, she was a working mom, and she found out from the babysitter, and she had her daughter write my daughter a letter. They invited us to ice cream, and I mean, it was just like a totally, like, there's absolutely no place for this in our family. We're not mean to other people. And I really appreciated it myself. And that child, they're now 16 and 17, that was 10 years ago. And she's never, I mean, she's always been polite to my daughter from then on. And I guess I just kind of think back on that, and I think that meant a lot to my daughter and a lot to me. It meant a lot to my friendship with this woman. And how could that have been done it was totally a forced apology, but...
Yeah, but I think it was a form of restitution too.
Yeah.
You know, there was more to that rather than just say sorry.
Yeah.
There was an action,
Yeah.
you know, to fix a wrongdoing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So